So Raw opens up with the highlight reel. And with Kevin Owens as a guest for the second week in a row. And they were like, oh my God, this has never happened before. 2 weeks in a row. The same guest on a highlight reel. We're making history. Comedy. And the comedy kind of keeps going from there. They talk about Thanksgiving and what they're thankful for, and they give thanks. Kevin Owens, he basically gave thanks for him being the Universal Champion, being your face of the company, and giving thanks to his best friend Chris Jericho. Jericho gives thanks to his best friend Kevin Owens and his scarf, and it's like, understand where they're going for, but still. It's funny how, Kevin Owens says that everyone sits and gives thanks and Thanksgiving and eat food next to people that we don't like, and then next thing you know, after giving all these thanks, the very next day or even at midnight, they're going out and they're shoving people all over the place. He basically described Black Friday, which was hilarious. And that's pretty much a fact. It is. People do the Thanksgiving thing and then go out on Black Friday and, get out of my way! Get out of my way! I want... And they run and to get the merchandise that they want. Every year, there's always horror stories about fucking Black Friday. And cue Roman Reigns. Oh, Roman Reigns. After Jericho gives thanks to Seth Rollins in a sarcastic kind of way, Roman Reigns comes out and says that, Kevin Owens is basically a joke as Universal Champion because he always needs help. He always needs Jericho. And it's like, alright, I understand what they're trying to do here. And it's like, I wish they picked someone else other than Roman Reigns to do it with. Because I don't want to see him in a title picture. Now, look, if you're a Roman Reigns fan, that's fine. But I just don't want to see him in any type of world title picture. I just don't see him. Just no. Even though he did pretty good on the microphone, I must say. And even Kevin Owens botched the line. When you're just talking about him being a joke as Universal Champion. But it went on from there. So, Jericho was going to put Roman on the list, but Kevin Owens told Jericho to shut up and interrupted him. And Kevin Owens was like, I got this. So Kevin Owens basically gets duped into going against Roman Reigns, and if Roman Reigns wins, at Roadblock, Roman Reigns will receive a title shot for the Universal Championship. Now, for those of you that are like, no, well, WWE isn't stupid enough to put the championship on Roman Reigns. Well, fucking they did it before, and they did it again, and they did it again. Well, Roman Reigns is already United States champion. We've seen that too. Seth Rollins, for a whole month, held the United States Championship and the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So don't put it past WWE from doing that shit again. Okay? So, yeah. Obviously duped into it, and we know what's going to happen later on. Jericho is pissed that he was interrupted by Kevin Owens, and basically their friendship implodes in the back. We don't know if this is an actual thing that they're going to keep going or whatever, but their friendship implodes. We knew it was going to come sooner or later. I would have rather have it to be a miscommunication in the ring or during a match, not during a fucking talk segment. That's just my opinion, because an actual, in-ring confrontation or a botch or a pushing or a causing someone to match, something like that would have caused more effect to it. And it would have been more brought into the whole friendship ending because something actually caused it. Not just words, not you hurt my feelings, not anything like that. That's just my opinion. So after that long fucking 18-minute of a segment and a commercial, you come back and Braun Strowman faces R-Truth. Come on, guys. If you're gonna have a squash match at all, I'm just not into Braun Strowman as a monster. Particularly because, okay, if the Big Show comes back, what is he going to do? Run over the Big Show like everybody else has? Mark Henry's not getting in his way. It's just like you're trying to build someone else as a monster again, and then they're going to have a big fucking decline once they get beat by someone. Don't let something stupid like Braun Strowman losing to someone like fucking John Cena. Don't fucking do that. But he squashes R-Truth, basically. And then Goldust actually tries to Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman fends him off. Cue Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn comes out, and he gets fended off by Braun Strowman as well. And it's like, wow. So you're telling me that the gang of these people can't get the best of Braun Strowman? Braun Strowman basically just tosses everybody. He gives a bear hug to fucking Goldust, and then he basically tosses Sami Zayn around and puts him upside down on the turnbuckle. And once again, Mick Foley, just like last week, he comes out and he stops Strowman. That being said, they cut to a fucking commercial, and when the commercial comes back, you see Mick Foley in the ring arguing with Sami Zayn. Now, Sami Zayn basically calls Mick Foley out. Mick Foley actually says to Sami Zayn that he can't win against Braun Strowman. And Sami Zayn is basically saying that Mick is the one that's in his way. He calls Mick Foley a hypocrite because this is not the land of opportunity anymore, and he's stopping opportunities that Mick once had. And you can kind of see both sides there, but you gotta let that shit go. If Sami Zayn is gonna get destroyed, then let him get destroyed on his own accord. But at the same time, Sami Zayn shouldn't even fucking be getting destroyed. Seriously. There should be at least a fend off of Braun Strowman or whatever, but him getting destroyed? Come on, man. To me, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Sami Zayn can be a top star someday. And you're going to have him being destroyed by someone that's not even going to be a top star, like Braun Strowman. He's not going to win any championships. He's not going to have any title runs. He's not going to be a monster that we take 100% seriously. So I don't understand why WWE is doing what they're doing with Braun Strowman, because his first loss by pinfall or a tap out is going to damage him entirely. So you might as well do it for Sami Zayn. No count out. Let Sami Zayn pin this guy. I don't know if it can be a realistic or convincing fashion, but it's going to happen sooner or later anyway, and this will bump up Sami Zayn's career if they let that shit happen. But anyway, you have Cedric Alexander go against Tony Nese, which Tony Nese actually fucking wins. Yes, they're trying to establish some heels in the cruiserweight division, and they haven't really gotten to that point just yet. I hate the shaking of hands before the match. I cannot fucking stand that. To me, it's like, okay, look, you're trying to put all this shit in good sportsmanship, but in the realm of a competition like WWE or any wrestling organization, I say fuck that. Let them motherfuckers just go at it, because this is about titles here, or title shots, or whatever, or being the best. And this is pro wrestling here. If the women's division isn't doing it, the tag team division isn't doing it, the fucking mid-carders or no one else is doing that. They just have the cruiserweights doing it. So it doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't. Fuck that shaking hands before match shit. Go at it, have real fucking storylines, and carry on from there. Anyway, Jericho leaves, and basically, yeah, Kevin Owens is on his own. Jericho basically just pointed that out and put that out. But while he was leaving, he called for his driver to open up his fucking door for him. Driver opens up the door. The list falls to the ground. No one got put on the list tonight, which is kind of disappointing. But Seth Rollins out of nowhere comes and attacks Jericho. Even when Jericho tries to run away, and it was kind of crazy because Jericho tries to run up to the opposite way of the limo, and Seth Rollins jumps in the limo and goes to the other door and starts attacking Jericho, which to me makes no sense. I think Jericho should have just slammed the door on Seth Rollins or whatever. Anyway, so a brawl ensues. Well, it wasn't really a brawl. It was just a domination, but by fucking Seth Rollins. And Jericho gets pedigreed on top of a fucking car. I don't like Seth Rollins using the pedigree as it is. I understand they had to ban the curve stomp, but he needs to come up with something else. And pronto. He just has to. So he lays out Jericho in the back, which kind of, reminds me of back in the day when they used to have backstage segments like that and brawls and stuff like that. But there was no referees in sight. There was no one trying to break up the brawls or saying, Seth, no. They just let the motherfuckers go at it, and Seth pedigrees Chris Jericho on top of a hood of a fucking car. Anyway, you had Sasha versus Charlotte. And in this match, it was like, okay, they had it in a double countout. This is, now, according to WWE and all, this is the match that's going to settle it all. There's not going to be any rematch. There's not going to be any comeback. There's not going to be any more feud. This is going to end it. So Mick Foley comes out and was like, no, this is not going to end at a double countout because, you two have set the bar, and you guys, if it's going to end, then it's going to end in a high note. It's going to end in a more, memorable fashion. So later on, he booked them into a no disqualification, no count out, falls count anywhere. And it's like, okay, after Hell in a Cell, can they really live up to that type of hype? Yeah, they could. I just... More on that later. Anyway, you have Rusev versus Enzo Amore. Of course, you had Enzo and Cass still making fun of Rusev and still doing their usual shtick as far as being on the microphone. And, of course, they're teasing Rusev. And, yeah, Lana, like the segment last week where Enzo was butt-ass naked and Lana was looking at him and so on and so forth. Yeah, and Rusev is going to defend the honor of his wife once again. So, what does Rusev do? He tosses Enzo around, and then he kicks Enzo in the nuts, and he leaves. So, Enzo wins by disqualification. Enzo and Cass better... I'd rather them be tagging and going against tag teams. I just don't like the situation with Rusev. I just don't. This is just a waste of fucking space. A waste of fucking time. Speaking of waste of fucking time, you had a Titus and Mark Henry segment that's not even worth going into detail of. It was just a shove, and because they showed footage of Mark Henry being in the movie. Okay, anyway, enough about them. Sheamus and Cesaro were in a bar discussing how close they came to the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships. They did come close last week, but no cigar. And in this, they're sort of trying to... They're admitting that they can't stand each other, but they came close, and they said that, hey, there'll always be Survivor Series because they were the sole survivors of all those tag teams. Even though they're not a functionable tag team. That's what's so funny about that. And then, of course, you have a bar fight. You have all these other motherfuckers that are appearing and making fun of Sheamus, making fun of Cesaro, and they're trying to keep it professional, whatever, and then a bar fight breaks out. Now, the funniest thing about that was that bar fight, quote unquote, was one of the best loads of action that took place in the fucking show. It was. Even though it was mindless and it was kind of meaningless. But after the fight, Sheamus jumps over the bar and screams, "Open bar!" Yeah, he screams, "Open bar," and basically serves Cesaro a drink, which he didn't take a fucking sip of. But anyway, will they be getting along? Will they get another shot at the Tag Team Championships? Will they actually? Who fucking knows? But this they need to either have them go against each other one more time and the winner gets a shot at the Universal Championship, or just end this altogether. Maybe they'll get their final shot for the Tag Team Championships after the New Day breaks Demolition's record. So, you have Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. Oh, God. We all knew that Roman Reigns was going to win because this sets up their next match at fucking Roadblock. So, Roman Reigns gets another fucking title shot. And anybody else tired of this? I am. I'm just like, fuck that. I understand Roman must be fended off by Kevin Owens if it's going to happen. Because, I mean, yeah. This is about Kevin Owens wanting to do things alone now. But to Roman fucking Reigns, come on, please don't give this fucking title to Roman Reigns, please, just please. So there was an interview with Paul Heyman conducted by Michael Cole earlier in the evening. Heyman basically saying we screwed up, took Goldberg lightly, and Brock's ribs were cracked because of the spear, and no excuses. And there were tears coming down in Heyman's eyes, and saying that it was embarrassing, and now Brock Lesnar has something to prove, and basically Brock Lesnar throws his name in a hat at the Royal Rumble. So it's going to be Brock Lesnar and Goldberg and 28 others in the Royal Rumble. I don't want these two motherfuckers, number one and number two, and tossing everybody out. That wouldn't be entertaining at all. I would not like that. These motherfuckers better collide, but later. Please let it be later. It has to be somewhere in the teens or in the 20s. It just has to happen that way. Don't put these motherfuckers as number one and two. It just, no, please. Don't fucking do that. So anyway, you had the New Day defend their tag team championships against Anderson and Gallows. And yeah, New Day is creeping up to the record. They're creeping up. And New Day retains by questionable means, just like last week when Xavier Woods prevented the referee from seeing Kofi tapping out to the sharpshooter. This time he pulls the tights of Anderson and actually pins him. Well, Anderson tried to pull the tights too, but anyway, you have this going on that they're trying to make them earn this record, and they're getting there by questionable tactics. People are still saying New Day rocks. Their time has to come up, though. And poor Anderson and Gallows, I didn't think they would throw Anderson and Gallows right here. See, this should have been Enzo and Cass. So who's going to challenge the New Day at Roadblock at this point? Are they going to be champions then? Look, apparently they have like 16 more days to shatter the record. And I think they're going to cough up the championships right after that. But what team is going to do it? It better not be the fucking Shiny Stars. It better not be the fucking Golden Truth. Please, don't fucking do that, okay? Anyway, okay, you had Sasha versus Charlotte, and before even Charlotte went out there, she talked to Bayley, and Bayley tried to wish her good luck, and they tried to do the friction thing between the two, because Sasha was like, enough, yeah, this isn't about you, this isn't about me, this is about the Women's Championship, and she actually dedicated her win to Ric Flair. And in a pretty good / brutal match, Falls Count Anywhere, no DQ, no count out, yeah, take that, Miz, you pussy. Do that shit. You can't even live up to these women. But I digress. The match ends in the crowd, in an aisle, when Charlotte basically was locked in a bank statement in a fucking rail. And she was getting bent back, and she taps out. So, does this rivalry come to an end? Or is Charlotte going to be like, I want my rematch, one more time, Roadblock? They need to fucking move on. Fuck this hot potatoing this belt shit. They need to move on. They need to have new challengers for this title. Please. Ric Flair even came out and raised the hand of Sasha. Okay, look, again, do not carry this on anymore. At least wait a while if you're going to do that, but fucking end this feud now and have someone else challenge for the fucking belt. Namely, Nia Jax or even Bayley. One of those two. Don't get Emmalina. Don't get Emma. Don't do that. Don't fucking do that, okay? Have Nia or Bayley do that shit. That's more appropriate and that makes more sense. But, you know, most likely Charlotte is going to challenge again. And it's like, oh, God, we're all sick of it. We just are. Fuck the hot potatoing shit. Just move on. So what did you think about Raw? Was it a good show? Was it, we have a new champion, a new women's champion. New Day is creeping up on a record. They're fucking giving Roman Reigns another fucking title shot. And now you got this beast with something to prove, and Jericho and Owens, their friendship is over. Please, just get better, Raw. It seems that WWE as a whole is just like, except for fucking NXT. I mean, NXT is just, yeah, just, anyway, I just, yeah. I wonder how, 205 Live is. Because Rich Swann was supposed to get his title shot because he beat Noam Dar. That's something I forgot to mention on Raw. That happened. And, yeah, he told Brian Kendrick that, he's already 2 up and he's going to be 3. Why? Because Brian Kendrick can't handle this. And just dance and dance and dance. And it's like, all right. But anyway, drop kicks, spike slams, throw motherfuckers over top rope, both feet hitting the floor. Yes, I'm a wrestling fan. This is the theme. And I'll see you later. Credits.